Hi there! If you're a regular subscriber to this channel or you pop in and watch my videos once in a while, you'll know that I normally focus on facilities maintenance, and every once in a while I'll intersperse something else. Well, this is my trailer project that I'm restoring the floor, correcting a few things that were done incorrectly from the get-go. You'll also know that it's been a while since I've uploaded anything with regards to the trailer, and the reason for that is because my mom passed away in early January, and as the oldest son and the executor, I have been incredibly busy for the last couple of months having to take care of a lot of that business, and it's been tough. But the May long weekend is fast approaching. In this episode I'll be showing you how I built the outriggers to hold the box of the trailer onto the ladder frame because gravity just wasn't cutting it. I've picked up some steel, some angle iron, and I am going to build my supports for the trailer walls out of this. Now, starting with my measurements that I made, 17 3/4. I need 2 at that length. Okay, here are the outriggers, or at least what will become outriggers. So each one of these will be bent 12 3/4 inches from one end, and then the remaining piece will be what gets welded against the actual frame, if that makes sense. I'm going to bend these into 90 degrees, and then out of my remaining steel I will be cutting cross bracing to weld in place. Now, in order to cut these into 90s, what I will be doing is basically cutting this 90-degree angle out of my stock, and then I will be bending it. The reason I have them lined up like this is because I actually want these to be mirror images of each other, because one will be on one side of the trailer and the other will be on the other side of the trailer. And for this, I will be switching to a new cutoff wheel, a nice thin kerf, but I want full diameter out of this too, so I can get easy depth of cut without any binding or interference. Throw my hearing protection back on and cut this out.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go.
And now it's just rinse and repeat until I get all of them done. At this point, I've done all my cutting, so I can switch up my wheel to something that's more of an abrasive, not a full-on grinding wheel, but a heavy sanding wheel. And I'm going to dress these edges a little bit, just maybe back cut them a bit. So when I start to weld, I'll have a bit of a valley to fill. And I'll also address the ends just to take off any sharpness that happens as a result of cutting things off. Nobody wants to cut themselves, particularly me. Well, I'm at the point where I'm ready to start welding. I've got all my pieces cut and just bend them and weld them. But I'm also at that point where my back is starting to give out. My low back gets sore if I stand in a slightly bent over position for a little while. Degenerative discs in my low back, and it's this kind of work that actually makes them hurt. And I'm at the point now where it's actually hurting to stand up straight. So I should probably take a break. So that's what I'm going to do. Well, I'm going to try my first bend. So I've got this in the vise. And the first thing that I need to make sure of is that it is sitting square in the vise. So that's looking pretty good. Now, I haven't decided. I think I'll start with a cold bend first. And if I find that I need to heat the metal, I will. But it takes a lot of time with the torch that I have to get the metal up to glowing temperature. And so if I can cold bend it, all the better. And if it cracks slightly, then I can always do a little weld along the seam of the crack to put strength back into it. So I'm going to start with a cold bend first. not bad. It's a little curved on this outside corner here, which is why I was hitting this. And as I was hitting this here, this was truing up this way. So let's take it out of the vise and see how square it is. Not bad, a little bit open still. So just another couple degrees, I might have to, yeah, I think I'll have to take my zip disc and run it down the seam here to open this up. Perfect. Okay, now the next thing I need to work out is how I want to put my bracket in. I think I want to put it in opposite to create kind of a box effect. Okay, we'll need to trim that off there and this off here. I gotta change helmets because this is not reacting. And it's very bright. This one is in pretty rough shape, but well, we'll see if it works. If it doesn't work, I'll just go up to my office and grab my own. Okay, those are some nice welds. So I've welded it there, and I've welded it there. Now I just need to trim off a couple areas of overhang, which is this little bit sticking out of the back here, and that little bit underneath here. And once I trim those, then I can finish welding everything up on this bracket. I keep calling it a bracket. It's an outrigger, but it's also a bracket. But the type of bracket that it is an outrigger. Here's a better look at it. The two areas that I need to trim are this here and this here, because this face will be welded to the frame and this face will be holding up the underside of the trailer box itself. Well, if they all turn out like that, that'll be awesome. Not worried about overspray when what I'm spraying on is black. Think of it as repainting. I'm not spraying every surface, I'm just spraying the surfaces that I'm not welding against and will be a little more difficult to reach once they're underneath the trailer. And I'll give them a few minutes and I'll flip them over and hit the other side. Alright, so there you go. These are the Outriggers. Thanks for watching. See you next time when I make my best attempt at actually installing them on the trailer.